So, should the Denver Broncos reach out to newly released linebacker Darius Shaquille Leonard? Yesterday, it was announced by the Colts that they were moving on from Leonard after he was going to be basically deactivated on game day. He has been usurped on the depth chart by guys such as Zaire Franklin and EJ Speed, and he really has never been the same player ever since his 2021 back surgery. It also cost him most of the 2022 season as well, and this year, he was relegated to basically the third string off-ball linebacker role and was barely seeing the field for Indianapolis. And now the Colts were so disappointed in his play that they weren't even going to play him. So he ended up asking for his release. Since it's past the trade deadline, though, any vested veteran is required to go on the waiver wire. Leonard cleared waivers earlier this afternoon, so that means he is now free to sign with any other team. And the question we're going to answer here is, does he make sense for the Denver Broncos, who do have some questions right now at the off-ball linebacker position? Because let's just be honest, guys, Alex Singleton, who the Broncos gave a pretty sizable contract to in the offseason, has not been playing well. Josie Jewell has been playing a lot better than Singleton has, and Singleton is the guy who got paid the pretty seismic amount of money. Josie is currently on a one-year deal and is set to be a free agent at the end of this year. It really seems like the Denver Broncos may have paid the wrong linebacker. The question now becomes, do they have a chance here to potentially right some of their wrongs and bring in a guy who has certainly a lot of experience and an all-pro under his belt in Shaquille Leonard? Let's come over here and take a look at the Pro Football Focus grades here for Shaquille Leonard as well as Alex Singleton. So for Leonard here, on the season, he is the 62nd graded linebacker out of 81 eligible players with a 60.3 overall defensive grade. His coverage is a little bit alarming. 55th graded linebacker, 56.4 out of 77 linebackers eligible. However, I thought it was alarming until I looked at Alex Singleton's coverage grade. He's the 71st out of 77 graded linebackers this year. After he had a 79.1 overall grade in 2022, the 10th highest grade for linebackers, Singleton is currently the 69th total graded linebacker out of 81 eligible with the 57.7 overall defensive grade. That is not good whatsoever. And what I'm also kind of wondering here, though, is with Shaquille Leonard, the Colts are moving on from him for a clear reason. I'm curious if this back injury is still bothering him. He claims it's not, but you can't necessarily trust what players are saying all the time in this situation. You kind of have to go off of maybe what the team knows, what the team's medical staff knows, stuff like that. So that could be the issue there with Shaquille Leonard. I'd be curious to see if he does indeed pass a physical if he is signed by another team this season. There's also a chance that he doesn't get signed at all this year, and maybe he waits until the end of this year and going into the offseason, hopefully healthy, and he could hopefully get a second chance to get a new deal because, I mean, Shaquille Leonard is only 28 years old. There's still obviously some youth there. It's just injuries are a big concern with him, and his overall production has really gone down the toilet since some of his best years. His rookie year, he had an 81.4 overall grade, 78.7 in 2019, 70.4 in 2020, and then the last year that he was healthy, 79, and then obviously last year, in the few games that he did play, he was absolutely terrible, and then this year, it's been better, certainly, but he's only been in a reserve role this season in Indianapolis. I don't think that he'd necessarily be able to handle a full-time starting role if this is the poor production that he's putting out there. Now, if you're more of a fan of raw stats, yeah, he does have 65 combined tackles on the year, which isn't bad, but his coverage grade, that is what I'm a lot more interested in because that's the main issue with Alex Singleton. Singleton's got a lot of tackles, but quite a few of them are after he already got beat in coverage and gave up a multi-yard gain. I honestly feel like that could be a very similar situation here with Shaquille Leonard, who obviously has a high number of tackles comparatively and is a 55 out of 77 graded linebackers in coverage. So, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, with the amount of money that Shaquille Leonard would probably want, I don't think that he makes a great fit for the Denver Broncos this season. Yes, he would add some veteran stability because he's a great leader. He showcased that in the Indianapolis community yesterday. Right after he got cut, he was still giving out turkeys to the local community. I mean, he's clearly a stand-up dude and an awesome guy for the community, but I just don't feel like it makes a whole lot of sense for the Denver Broncos to pursue Shaquille Leonard at this time. All right, Broncos country, I'm curious if you disagree with me on this one, though. Do you think that it would be a good fit for the Denver Broncos to bring in Shaquille Leonard? I think that personally, the Shaquille Leonard of 3 or 4 years ago would have absolutely made perfect sense, but the Shaquille Leonard currently, I don't know, man. I have some concerns, but I'm curious about your thoughts on this Broncos country. Drop those comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are 2 free and easy ways to show your support. Helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out and helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.